Okay. Just getting my monitor ready. Let's see. So one of the things I wanted to... Oh, wait. My topic list. 1 second. There we go. So lots of things to talk about today. Lots of things to update. I've been working on a lot of stuff lately. I was planning to have a live a few days ago, like a bit sooner. The live between this one and the last one has been like, I think it's been quite a while. I was planning to have more in between, but I kept on getting more ideas and adding more and more and more and more. And I just got to a point where I go like, okay, I gotta like give a status report out so everyone knows what I'm doing. So today, one of the things I wanted to get off the list is that a question that was inspired in the last live stream. Someone asked how to export a rig made with Houdini with KineFX and how to export it into Blender. Well, and how to export, I don't know if they were asking about the Reallusion characters as well, but the Reallusion characters, when you export it out of Character Creator, which is the Reallusion app, it comes ready-made for Blender. But if you decide to use Houdini as your like animator tool, and you do your animations in Houdini and you want to export that out and into Blender, you need to, there's a bit of trick to it. It's not the greatest thing to do. So that's one of the things I wanted to get over with first, is the Houdini to Blender workflow and how to export some of the rigs from Houdini into Blender, and how to export some of the animations that you create as well. Okay, we have lots of people already off the bat, so I did start a couple minutes late. Sorry about that. Crossmind Studio, Dead Pianist, Jojo's here. RR? Cool. So this is one of the first topics I want. The second one will also be covering... No, this is for me. This is my notes. These are for, like, the topic list. The HD... Oh, right. I have more updates on the HDA clothing. In the last live stream, I talked about the clothing version 2, but right after I released, right after I did the live stream, the last live stream on the clothing, I added more stuff to it. So I never got a chance to talk about it, but it is in this release. It is in the version 2 release. The updates are already there. I just never had a chance to actually demo it live. Like this new parameter. This was actually already there. I just forgot to mention it in the last live stream. There's a parameter here in one of the shirt generators. I added a parameter here so you can import, not import, but what you do is like you isolate the arm of your character and just blast everything out. Just delete everything else, and you have this mesh here of just the arm, of the left arm. And you reference this parameter to that geometry. This is so that the shirt generator will know how long to make the sleeves. So that one's there. And I've added the collision. Now I've noticed that sometimes when I use my clothing generator, that some of the clothes overlap with the geometry, with the character mesh a lot. For different types of characters, different types of models, because I can't predict the size of your model. So my default voxel size that I use to determine the collision accuracy is not great. Since if you give me like a model that's 10 times as large as my Oliver model, which I use to test with, then that's not going to work out, is it? So I've exposed some of these, the voxel size. It's actually just a voxel size value, which I call collision geometry accuracy. So this is actually affecting a voxel, a volume inside of my HDA. So the lower value you give this, the more accurate the clothing simulation will be, the less overlap you'll have, but it'll run really, really slow. So start with the default size and then try it out. And if you get overlapping, then make it smaller. And now I'm going to show it to you live. I just want to go over it quickly. Some of the new parameters that I've added. Now the pants generator and the hip attachments. So I've noticed that sometimes the pants generator would create the pants a little too high or a little too low, above or below the hip. So I've added some, I've exposed some of the parameters out to allow you to visualize and control where the pants will get attached to the geometry. Because without attaching the pants to the geometry, when you simulate, the pants will just fall off. So you need to have points. It's sort of like an invisible belt. This is going to be, since we don't have elasticity on like an elastic band on the pants, this is sort of our invisible belt telling the simulation, you know, this is where the pants are supposed to stay on the hip. This is going to be attached to the character and don't fall off. So this is some of the parameters here will help you visualize that. Now I'm going to demo it live, so don't worry about that. So that's some of the updates I have for the clothing generator. And I hope we have enough time to show you. And I got more updates with the lip sync generator and a new set of tools for the facial deformer for expressions. So I've added HDA for expressions, like to make your character smile, happy, sad, whatever, grin, evil grin. This I'm really excited about because the facial expressions can be used with the lip sync. So you can actually have it not only talk, but actually have feeling to it to give it like emotion and mood. So this is pretty good, but this is not ready for release yet. I'm so close. I just have to optimize it just a bit more because it's really slow at the moment. So this needs a bit of work. I hope I have enough time to show you it at the end. My goal for today is to go over the Houdini to Blender workflow and clothing generator first. So those two are priority first. And then if we have time for the lip sync HDA and the facial expressions HDA updates, like a small demo on this, because this is not going to get released yet. And this is some of the mocap stuff I've been working on, and I highly doubt we'll have time for this. But if we do, it's here. So I do have something prepped. Let's see. Sorry, I have an emergency. I have to leave. Oh, that's okay. You can leave, and you can always watch the replay. So no worries. Giddish. Dead pianist. Off topic, but can you tell me what exactly is XYZ distance and primitive attribute in VOP? There's not much info about it. XYZ distance. I actually forgot. I used it once. I believe it's the distance along the geometry. XYD. Well, okay, let's look it up. Let's see if it can remind me of my... Give me a reminder. Haven't used it in a while. Finds the distance of a point to a geometry. From origin to the distance points on the geometry. To do any examples? Nothing. Is this the distance on a UV? Finds the distance of a point to a geometry though. Finds along to the closest points on the geometry. It sounds like just the distance. Finds the distance from origin to the closest point on the geometry and also outputs the primitive number and UV coordinates. Oh yeah, it's the and also the UV coordinates on the finds distance. I had to get back to you on that. I haven't used this geometry in a while. I think I used it once before, and I believe it was related to the UVs. I think that, but just looking at this, yeah, you're right. There's not much information. It sounds like it's just the normal distance function, like the distance between 2 points. Or the distance, like it sounds like it's just taking this vector, and it's just normalize. It's not normalizing it. I mean, it's just finding the magnitude of the vector. That's what it sounds like to me just by reading this. I can't remember what I used it for. But this is kind of cool, is that it returns the UVs for the closest point. So that will come in handy. I remember I used this before for the UVs. No, I can't remember what it was. It's been like a very long time since I used it. I'll have to get back to you on that one, because we have a lot to cover today. So, yeah, I'll get over those, because I can't even remember what I used this for. So I might have to get back to you. Okay. Yeah, it works with permanent attribute. Yeah, you can use it for position. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think it'll come in handy for UVs. If you're trying to recreate the UVs onto SOP, I think that node will come in handy. But I have to try it out. Okay, one thing off the bat. So I decided, now most of you probably want to export your Houdini KineFX rig to Blender. Because not many people will use Houdini to animate the Reallusion rig. Well, who knows? You might want to. I don't know. But I'll first show you how to do this one. So this is not in the right order. I should just bring this down. Yes. Actually, this should go up too. Okay, anyways, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's do this. The KineFX rig to Blender. So I'm going to use Oliver as an example, because this is a KineFX rig that I did from scratch, all in Houdini using the KineFX, using the KineFX tools. So let me template. Don't do this to me. I had just renamed the file right before the stream, which is terrible idea. 3D Oliver. Okay, there we go. Pack Oliver here, skeleton here. Oh, skeleton, where are you? Oh, there it is. Okay, it's not very visible. Oh, the point size is already... Oh, I need to turn it on. Okay, so here's our skeleton of Oliver, and Oliver is over here. So this is a rig all done in KineFX. I hope the cache is still there. Okay, good. Okay, so this guy has all the weights and all this stuff. Get rid of that. You can check over here. All the bone capture weights is all here. So this is basically your bone weights for your rig. And what I'm doing is taking this pose, or this walk cycle, which I grabbed again from Houdini's built-in rig, which is up here, the Mocap stuff. Let me quickly show you. I know most of you already know that. It's from this Mocap biped tool. So once you click that, it creates a rig, or it creates a character that has a bunch of motion captured already built in, so you can reuse it for whatever purpose you want, which is perfect for showing you the KineFX rig. Because if I wanted to ever share the file, it comes with, I don't have to worry about copyrights or anything, because it's built into Houdini, which is perfect. And it's lightweight too, because I only have to share you the HIP file. Okay, so we're going to recapture this guy, which is, and I'm not going to show you how to bring that into this context. Like, it's just this being brought into here, the walk into here. But I've isolated it so that we only get the skeleton. We don't have that character. I think his name is Tommy. I'm not sure. But that character that you just saw, you don't have out any of that stuff, because we were only interested in the walking skeleton. And what I do is retarget it to Oliver, to the teddy bear. So you get something like this. Let's give it 1 second. Oh, sorry. Okay. The lip sync is nailed on here. So it's doing the talking while he's walking. Let me disconnect the lip sync. So this is the lip sync. Let me move it over. Okay, so this will be a lot faster. So this is Oliver walking. So what we need to do is get Oliver exported out and into Blender. Now, what you do is you drop down this FBX ROP character output. You want this guy. Now you have to be careful not to choose not this one, but you want this one, the character output, because the character output has 3 inputs. Now let me just drop down this just to compare it. So there's only one input for this. You need all 3 inputs because you need to give it, this is the mesh, which is the geometry. And this is going to be your rest position, and this is your animated character, which is the walking animation. So let's take this out. Now, to your surprise, we will not need the bone deform. The bone deform is Houdini interpreting the mesh. Oh, it's moved. The mesh here, it's interpreting this mesh, and it's interpreting this, the skeleton, this walking skeleton, the retargeted skeleton that we use for KineFX, and it puts that together and it calculates all that. That's what the bone deform does. Blender has its own sort of bone deform. It interprets the rig in its own way. So what we need to do is transfer these 2 data, the mesh and the skeleton, these 2 data, and bring it into Blender. It'll put it into an FBX. So this rest geometry, it's important that you get this rest geometry, the one with this bone capture data in it. This is really important. If you plug this one in, now this doesn't have anything. It's just the mesh, which is not very helpful because you want all that good stuff. You want it to have, how much the limb will affect, the rig will affect this arm or whatever like that. That's what the bone capture data will tell it. You need those weights. So that goes here in the first input. Now I'm just gonna, sorry, this is me, that was my notes on the side. Now we have, now we need the capture pose, which is the rest position, the one that's not walking. It's not moving at all. So it's the original skeleton over here, this guy. So let me just put it here in the middle, right here. And now we have the retargeting. Now, he's walking, right? So this retargeting animation goes into the last input. And you output it all here. Then you just do the fill this in. Now before that, I'm actually gonna not connect this. Now why I want to do that is I'll show you in just a bit. So I just want the rig, not walking, not moving rig. So I just want a stationary rig at the moment because I want to show you how to import multiple different animations into Blender in case you ever wanted to do that. Because say you use Houdini to retarget stuff and you end up animating in Blender and you're in between a scene, but you want to add another animation. But if you have to re-import the whole character, that's then you have to start all over. You lose data. So let's just do the rig for now, and then I'll show you how to import the animation. Now there's a lot of stuff you need to know. In my original KineFX tutorial that I teach you how to create a KineFX rig in Houdini, I never actually had a rig doctor in the skeleton. When I'm drawing the skeleton here, I never taught anyone how to drop down a rig doctor. I'm just gonna pull that out quickly. So if any of you have watched, actually I should just pull it up here. That would be this one. So any of you have watched this guy, the KineFX tutorial where I teach you how to rig a character, I never had this rig doctor here. And what this rig doctor in the skeleton, so this is me drawing the whole skeleton, drawing it out, and then all I did was name one point, just so I know where the root is. Now this rig doctor, what's the use of the rig doctor? Because the rig works without the rig doctor, but we need it for the Houdini to Blender workflow. If you're going to export this rig out of Houdini and into Blender, you're going to need this rig doctor. What it does, it initializes all the points and all the bones. It tells you where, it declares the orientation of each bone. So I'm just going to show it to you. They do have a visualizer. Oh, it's okay. So you can see that all the bones here are now, they all have this little axes here. Let me see if I can make it a little smaller. Okay, maybe bigger. Too big. Okay. Well, you can see that they all have this axes here. So green is the Y, red is X, and blue is Z. And what this does, it declares or initializes every single point and gives it an orientation. It declares it. Now, Houdini never really needed this. This bone deform handled it very, very well. Like I could just rig it without it. However, I found out once you import the rig into Blender, Blender doesn't understand it. Blender is completely confused once you do that. So you do have to declare it. I suspect that Blender is using the offset between the skeleton and the animation in order to make it move. So it's calculating a simple offset. And that brings us to over here as well in the retargeting. Now I have the walking motion here. Oh, there's one more thing. Sorry, I forgot to mention for the rig doctor. Once you drop this down, check enable initialize transforms, convert instant attributes, reorientate child. So these three need to be checked, or at least the first one. Otherwise, it doesn't do anything. So remember that. If I put this here, you can see that. If I ignore this, oh, I guess it shows it anyways. I don't know how to illustrate that, but it's adding data in there. Otherwise, the rig won't work. It'll be you'll have to rescale and reorient all the whole bone rig in Blender if you don't add this rig doctor and initialize the transforms. Now, I've also noticed that in my original rig setup, the KineFX rig, when I had this walking, I also had a neutral pose just to give it more data to work with. So this is the walking, and this is this is the neutral pose, and this is the walking, so Houdini would understand everything. But I've noticed that this is not necessary. It just confuses the export. It just confuses Blender even more. So instead, this is the skeleton. This is it. This is the skeleton, is the only rest skeleton that will have it here. Because once we do the rig stash pose, it starts to add a lot of different data. When you export it out to Blender, it gets really confused. So I just took it out completely. And it seems to work fine. Like there's no neutral pose in the retargeting. And it doesn't seem to have much effect on Oliver. Except for that thump. The rig match pose, so map points, that's all discussed. And in the full body IK, you also need to check compute local transform. And enable use rest pose. So remember this here, and compute offsets. Compute offsets. This is important. These two are important. So you can see that if you do this, it gets messed up, right? But once you put it in, this is what, this is sort of like a short preview into Blender. This is what Blender is going to see. So that's why I suspect that Blender is calculating the offsets between the animated rig and the rest pose rig. So after you have all that done, now I'm not going to import the you know what? Let's import it too. Let's hook that all up, and I'll show you how it is. Have this. I can't remember. I'm going to look at my notes, and I'm going to cheat a bit. Okay. So over here, the other parameters I also have is this render, because now, okay, since I've connected the animation, so I want to export the animation as well, you need to choose render frame range. If you don't, if you want to just use this clip data, which is actually reading this clip data. Where is it? There's some sort of clip data here. Can't remember. It's reading some of the attributes from the details. But as you can see, okay, let me show it to you here. The skeleton. Okay, let's do it here. So basically you don't see it there. So you have to add this configure clip info. This has to go into your animated rig. Bring it into here. Now I'm going to use frames. Check. I just check everything. Now you have to ensure you can put a name. You don't have to put a name. We're just going to choose walking. So clip range between 1 to 440. So I'm not going to do something like that. Let's just do 240. And source is just 240. Let's start. There we go. Sorry, just give me 1 minute. I'm just going to get a glass of water. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see. Hello, Matt. I'm from India. I love your work. Oh, awesome. Thank you. I'm glad it helps. Okay. Sorry, I was just reading this comment. Very random. Aya had a comment from India saying, love my work. Awesome. I'm glad it helps someone. So back to this. It's configure the clip info. So after you drop that down, there's our clip info data right here in the details. So it's all here now. Then you can connect it in here. If that's only if you want to use the clip info data in detail attributes. Now, if you don't have that here, this is going to throw an error when you save it, when you click this save. Or you could just use render current frame range. And we don't need that much. Okay. Also choose blend, dual, quaternion, and linear. Now I know I tried a couple of different options. There's something you need to know. Blender uses dual quaternions to do the skinning. I'm not sure what Houdini uses, but they give you an option what you want to export it into. So I've tried dual quaternion. I find that this one I have the best luck with. So I'm just going to stick with that. And what's our clip name? We're going to call it walking, because that's what it's doing when it's walking. It's asking for this clip name, the walking animation. So let's just hit save. Give me 1 second. Okay, here it is. So that's our Oliver walking. I'm just going to open up Blender, bring it over. Now I'm going to import this FBX. Now, the options you need when you open Blender and you want to import the FBX, you usually need, for the armature here, remember to check animation if you want to bring in all the animations as well. Check this, automatic bone orientation. And I do find that if I check everything, okay, let's just do this. This is usually the best option when you're importing a rig. Okay, there it goes. We do have a bit of stretching here. I believe it'll go away if I add a modifier. So these are for the Blender users. Subsurface. Now it slows it down significantly. Wow. Okay, all the fans are spinning. I'm going to turn this off because this is going to slow me down significantly. So we'll just leave the stretching. Now let's take a look at the rig, because I suspect it's not in the right position. Sorry, armature. Remember to select the armature and then press pose. Now I don't see the bones. That's because this is weird. You have to click this running man or running stick. Go to viewport in front. Yeah, the bones are not correct. I think I forgot an option. There's so many options here. This here, do not check convert units. Leave that off. Let's try this again. I must have missed that one. Here, let's try it again. Save. So it's just going to overwrite that. Now this took me a while to figure out the whole workflow. So it is still in the works. At first, when I was importing Reallusion characters, it worked like a charm. However, the ones that I created didn't really work out. Okay, now it looks better. Okay, so it is significantly smaller. So let's delete this. Let me do it one more time. I want to show you, this is where we need the scale. So I'm just going to delete all these default objects. The default cube. Import FBX. Again, that Oliver character. There's a scale option here. Do 100. Now, why 100 is because Houdini is in meters, and Blender, I'm guessing, is in centimeters, because it's always 100th of a unit less. And Houdini is in meters is because I watched one of the side effects master classes, and that's what one of the side effects guys said. I think his name was Jeff. He mentioned that Houdini is in meters. And that's the reason why I know. By default, I believe you can change Houdini's the units anyways. But anyways, I just make this 100. You can do it by trial and error. Just import it, and if it's too small, just import it again. Okay. So that looks a lot better. Now let's see what it looks. Okay, so we have less stretching. So this is much better. Now, one way to check if the rig was imported correctly with the right measurement is this. Click on the armature, come over here to the pose, and yeah, I need this in front because I can't see the bones. So you can see that the bones are the same size as Oliver, as opposed to what I had before. So I'm gonna show you this is right size. I'm just gonna call this, and I'm gonna import it one more time to show you what it looked like before. Wrong size, I guess I'll call it. Yeah. So let's take that out. Let's hide that. Let's come back here again, and let's change the name of this. And I'm gonna go wrong size, and I'm gonna enable this option back. And we all know that that creates the wrong size once it converts it. So I always had that option turned on. So this needs to be 1 because it does resize it for you. So the scale is not necessary anymore, but it only resized the mesh, and it didn't resize the armature, which is super weird. So you can see this. Now let's look at the armature. Let's click this guy. In front, pose. You can see the armature's all the way down there. I don't know if you can see. It's this little blue dot here. It's that little thing. That's the armature. So that's one of the reasons why this ugly stretching is appearing. Now, how I found that out, how I found all these different things you need set up and tweaked in the KineFX rig is literally by trial and error on almost everything that I could, like, try this, try that, try this, and in order to get the whole thing working. Now, you don't have to worry about writing notes down or anything. I'm gonna clean it up, this hit file, and I'm gonna make it available for everyone. So you can see that the red nodes here are the ones that you need to be aware of with special parameters that you need to enable in the KineFX rig. This one is just that you need a rig doctor there. So this, I wonder if you can see. Maybe I should zoom in. So this is the rig doctor right before the skeleton, and you need the full body IK needs to have compute local transform, compute offsets, use rest pose, stash this. And when you put down your ROP FBX character output, do not disable convert units, and switch this to blend, dual, quaternion, and linear. These are the parameters that I find working. I've left the notes here, so this hit file will be available for the members. Dead Pianist. Next to the first tutorial with Oliver, you can convert anything like constraint and other connections between bones from Houdini to Blender. I'm not sure if the hair will export nicely into Blender, unless you export it as cards from Houdini, like the hair cards. But I never got that working, just because the lighting was, like, I did that a long time ago and tried to put a toon shader on, and the lighting was completely messed up. So I'm not sure, like, that needs more work. Needs way more work. I don't know how to get it working, the hair working from Houdini to Blender. Oh, on another note, since you brought up hair, I had saw this Reallusion was promoting this hair generator. Smart hair generator. I think it was this. It was a Blender add-on. I don't know why they're promoting it though. I did see it on their website. Beard? Was it beard? They were promoting this thing. Anyways, it's a Gumroad product by someone else. I just saw it on the Reallusion website. And you can actually generate hair in Blender. I just can't find it anymore. You know what to do, You know what? Let me go get Hub or Gumroad. That should work. No. Include Gumroad. I think it's this. Okay. Well, when I find it, I'll shoot it out. I think it was this. Now I'm totally guessing. Anyways, you can generate hair really nicely with very high quality realism. It's a Gumroad product. I just can't find it on the Reallusion website anymore. Anyways, I'll look it up. Yeah, I'll look it up too, and I'll post it a little later. So I was planning to use that, but that has nothing to do with Houdini. Just FYI for a second. But as long as it works, like we don't have to do everything in Houdini. I may work on that. Figure out how to get hair from Houdini into Blender. It's because Blender has its own particle system, and they use the particle system in order to spawn the hair. So it is like if you export the hair directly from out of Houdini, you lose a lot of data because you're gonna have to convert it into like mesh data, or you're gonna have to convert it into cards. And I never got the cards working, so that was sad. I think the cards should work well, but you need to tweak the Blender hair material significantly. Like you have to be like a guru Blender material developer or something. And that's a little out of my scope of expertise. So far, we got the rig. So one thing at a time. So I will clean this up a bit, and then everyone will have this file available. What else did I wanted to show you? Oh, right, the Reallusion rig. Oh, right, before that. I'm losing my brain. Now, I wanted to show you what if we had a different animation that we want to export. So we got Oliver walking in Houdini. Now, that's nice. I don't want to... Oh, this is the wrong one. We got Oliver walking in Houdini. Now, if I start animating this and actually using this for production purposes, I don't want to keep replacing the character every single time I want a new animation. Like you want this to be seamless. So how do I append an animation? So let's create another animation for Oliver first. Okay, let me just copy this guy. Let's pick something. Turn off that. I don't know. Let's do the zombie. Sure, let's just do zombie. Did I use in place? Yes, I did. Okay, so in place, zombie walk. Hide this guy. Did I just... darn. Wrong node. That's the lip sync stuff. I'm just reusing this hip file. Okay. So, how do you get that zombie walk into a skeleton? First, I drop down an agent. Now, I pick the rig, the zombie rig. Here, this guy. Here. Okay, now we got almost everything. But as you can see here, there's nothing. This is pack data. This is like agent pack data. So this is useless to us right now. We're going to choose agent unpack. Agent unpack. That's what you need to actually see to unpack all the data. So now you can see in our geometry spreadsheet that there's a lot more points. We actually have something here. Now we don't want the deformed geometry. I actually want the skeleton. So this is awesome that it gives us an option to choose what we want. Now I want the skeleton. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to name this zombie walk. Let's just do that. Walking unpacked. So let's go back to Oliver. Now let's go here, and I'm just going to replace this walking with the zombie walk. Let's see if we can find it. So walking unpacked, zombie walk. Nice. Into this object. I'm just going to replace it, and it should work seamlessly just because this walking and this zombie are both based on the same type of rig. Like the bones, the naming, everything's the same because it's the same built-in mocap character. So it should work seamlessly. If these two were completely different rigs, like they didn't have this, they had different number of bones, then you would require you have to redo this map points. But right now it should be okay. We can double check. Now I'm gonna go to the map points and I'm just gonna do a quick check. Now that looks okay to me. Oh, let me close this. Can't see. So that looks okay. Well, an easy way to check is just to run it. Let's go to the bone deform. It looks a bit silly. Now we have some overlapping there because his tummy is way too big. Let's see what the original skeleton is doing. Oh, his arm is going down. He's trying to... He's struggling around. He's waggling his arms around. That doesn't work out that great for Oliver just because his tummy's so large and his hands are so short. So it's not the best animation for Oliver, but for this purpose, we're trying to get another animation into Blender. So really, the best way I find doing this is just re-exporting the entire animation. But don't worry, we're not gonna replace this rig. So I'm just gonna, this is the right size. So this is Oliver walking. This is the original walking rig. We're not going to replace this. We are going to export it again though. So this is zombie walk. Okay, let's do this. Everything's the same, so this should be okay. Save it. Now this is it. So let's go to Blender. Let's import it. Oh. Zombie walk. Now this is gonna need 100. Oh wait, let me double check. Oh, I forgot to disable this. So this is very important. You have to disable that. I keep forgetting. Let's save it again. Go back to Blender. Choose this. 100 armature automatic bone orientation. Okay, zombie walk. Let's import it. I'm just gonna bring it over here. Ooh. Okay. This is the zombie walk. Let's hide this guy. So I'm just gonna hide the other one. This viewport is not updating. Let me create another collection. Let's delete the wrong size because I don't need that anymore. That was just to illustrate what happens when you forget to disable the convert units. Now I can actually close the entire collection. Choose this. I wonder what happened to my mesh. I was expecting the mesh would be exported as well. Armature. Sorry. I think I have to do it again. It's because I accidentally dragged this over and over. When you're dragging the armature, it literally just drags the armature without the mesh, so it separates that. Let me do this over again. This, delete. Okay, let's do this one more time. Let's disable that so we don't. Let me see if I broke that. Okay, so this is okay. Let's do it one more time. Zombie walk goes here. So Blender has those quirks. You don't drag and drag. Don't drag stuff around, seem like unconsciously. Okay, let's name this zombie walk. Okay, so this came in. I mean, there's that overlap, but that's okay. That's not the purpose of this demonstration. Now, how do we combine? How do we get this zombie walk into our character, into this character that we want? This is the original character, original rig. Now, one thing great about Houdini is that you can mix and match animations very easily. I'm just gonna enable both. Yes, they're overlapping, don't worry. Select the zombie walk. Now come over here, this little drop down here, we need a dope sheet. Now in the dope sheet, I also want the action editor. I need more space, so I was just gonna drag this out. Now there's a zombie walk here. There's all these animation lists in that there. So I want to rename this, and I'm going to call this zombie walk. So we know, so we can tell which one's which. It's because I imported it a couple of times. Blender doesn't erase anything. It kind of keeps everything cached until you close the application. So you have a lot of stuff in here that you're going to see a lot of stuff here that you're not using from previous imports. It doesn't clean it until you close the application. So renaming it is a nice way to identify which one we want. Now we want to import this zombie walk animation into our original rig. So after I rename that, let's go to the original rig. Click the Oliver walking, and again you're just gonna have to go to that dope sheet. But we're already here, and then you go to the action editor. So it's the same place. Now you can see that this already has a walking animation to it. So this is actually this walking. So I'm just going to rename this for clarity. I want to change this into the zombie walk. So click. So now we have the zombie walk on our original Oliver walking rig. So this doesn't destroy your workflow. You can use this to attach multiple different animations onto the same rig. It's not the cleanest solution. That's the thing I don't like about it, is that we have to export the entire rig. I have tried using this animation output. I've used this ROP node in order to export just the animation, but apparently it's trial and error. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I couldn't figure out why. But if you export using this FBX character output, because it has the mesh and it has the rest skeleton, I think it makes it easier to compute the offsets over here. This I haven't figured out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I would stay clear out of. If you want something reliable, then just use the FBX, like just use this way and attach it manually, because the way you attach it, the animation in Blender is not going to change. You still have to come to the dope sheet and you're going to have to choose it from the list. If you export using this animation output, all it does, it makes the file a little smaller. you won't get the mesh, but you're still gonna, like, all it does, it'll just add a list, add an item in this list. So you're not gonna see much. You're just gonna have a little cleaner export. You can see the animation name in the outlier by maximizing the rig, and under the animation you can rename from there. Are you talking about Blender? Like this? Oh, in the outlier. Right, I have rig, and under the animation you can see the name. I'm actually not sure. Well, the name's over here, if that helps. Or the summary. Let's go to pose. Choose all the keys. There's everything. There's all your keyframes. Now, what's great about Blender? Now, there are some things I like about Blender. Like a lot of things, not just some things. This organization just gets a little bit used to. Now let me turn this off. So this option here will only show what bone you have selected. So if I select this, it will give me all the keyframes related to that bone. Now you have to be in pose mode. So let's do this one more time. Let me just do this for those of you that are not too familiar with Blender. You have to go to click your armature. And what you can do, just click this armature here. So you have that selected, come down here, go to pose mode, select all the bones, and you'll see it all in here if you have this selected. So you can see the tool tip, only show selected. So if I disable this, now I'm going to click something else to deselect the bones. This is still going to be here. If I want filtering, so this is more like a filtering option. If I have this enabled, I won't see anything. I won't see any keyframes. Only your selected bones you'll see. Press A while your mouse is over the viewport, over the bones. Press A and that selects everything. So you can get everything here. Now, I'm mentioning that because I want to show you another cool trick in Blender. For example, if you have mocap data coming in here and you have a bunch of keyframes and you want to clean it up, you want to clean up your mocap or your animation for any possible reason you want. Let's go to the graph editor. So this is the graph. This is basically the keyframes graphed in a graph view. So I want this to be a little more smoother. Now, in order to autofocus, as what I just did, I just pressed the home key and that'll autofocus and give you a nice view. Come to the key. Where is that? Sample. Where are you? I'm losing it. I can't see anything right now. Sample keyframes. So this Blender will read all the keys. Click this. Give it a second. It needs to read all that data. Now you can go here and smooth the keys. What it does, it'll smooth out your entire animation. So this is incredibly useful for mocap data. So you have jittery mocap data, this is your best friend. So the shortcut is Alt-O. So let's just click this and you have to press it a couple of times. So we pressed it once. Now I'm going to press it in the shortcut on my keyboard and just watch the graph, stare at this graph over here as it starts to smooth out all the curves. Look at that. It's getting smoother and smoother and smoother. Obviously, this is not wanted for this animation. That's a little too much smoothing. But let's see what it looks like. So the zombie is not very zombie-ish anymore. It's more like a sleepy teddy bear now. So that's what this does. I use this a lot to clean up my mocap data. What else did I wanted to show everyone? Animations, how to export dope sheet. Right, we went through that. Oh, the lip sync. Right. We can actually get the lip sync data out. For those of you that have seen one of the previous previous live streams I had, this one on the lip sync. Oh, this is version 3. Yeah, these ones. So this is the third version of the lip sync tools. I call it the facial deformer because what it does, it deforms the face, so you get these lip values, and it looks like you're talking. It looks like the character's talking. And I've set 41 phenom values in it, which is the 41 different lip shapes into it. So when Houdini uses chops to detect your voice, it will convert that into the right shape. As a result, you get a talking mesh from an audio file. So we can actually export this guy and into Blender. So let's just do that. Let's add it on top of everything else. Let's just bring that over first. Here. Now I already had it set up. That's what this was hooked up to. This lip sync. Let's go up now. Now, if you remember, this might look familiar to those of you that saw the Lip Sync HDA live stream. That's this procedural. I hope this doesn't take long to load. Just gonna load a few frames. Just give it 1 second. It does take a little bit of time to load because there are 41 phonem values. Give it a second. Okay, I think that's enough. Ah, he's not talking. Sorry. Let me double check if this is working. Okay, so we do have voice. So this is what I use to debug my phonem, the chopped lip sync setup. These sound bars. I'm not sure why this guy is not talking. I have recently been working on updating the lip sync. So I think I broke something in this setup. Lip sync points. Okay, let's take a look over here. Now I've added more inputs and outputs. Yep, I definitely broke it. Nothing's hooked up. So I've added a second output for the lip landmark. So this used to be here, so you could choose your mouth here, your mouth points here, manually choose it. You would click this and you would click the matching mouth landmark area in your mesh. Now your mesh has to be an open mouth, bag mouth that you can physically open in there. So if this was welded together, it's not going to look right. So you just this, and you would pick one. This is mouth upper left middle 1. So you would choose something like there. That was the old way of doing it. Now I have a new way. Let me factory reset this. I think I broke this manual selection while I was updating this for the new way. Let's see, facial landmark, mouth control. Okay, it's over there. You know what? Let's take this up. I'm missing some of the updates too. Let me install it. Houdini projects. Facial deforming tools. Yeah, let's just bring everything in. Okay. Facial mouth points. Or was it this one? Can't remember which one I did. Mouth points. Let's use this. This you don't have to have this input. This one's new. There is another one you can use. It's basically the same thing. The mouth control and the mouth points, it both generates the same thing. It both generates this circle with names on it. Each point is actually named. So I'm just going to put the visualizer on. So there's actually the matching names of the landmarks. This input here, this one over here is the same one as this mouth control. There's actually, it's just embedded inside. Here, this facial mouth control is embedded inside. And what I do, this one here repositions it a little bit so that you have something a little bit more organized. Repositions it to where the character is. So I'm going to put this in front view. So now that it's, you know, it's a little bit easier, that it's somewhat in the right place. And what you do now in this new workflow, I'm going to drop down the transform, move it up. I have to center it, otherwise I won't see the widget. Just going to look in my notes. Okay. Okay, mouse here. Let's go up. I'm going to template this. I'm going to look at this because I can't really see where the thing is. His mouth is. Now, all we had to do now is match it up. So this is way more convenient than trying to select the mouth points because this will automatically select it for us. It'll find the closest point for you. So this might be to your liking. Now this update, it's still in the works. So that's why I'm not going to be releasing this yet. Now don't be afraid to move some of these points manually. So you can see that no matter what I do, I won't be able to align this correctly because his mouth is in a weird position. So I'm going to match it up as close as I can and then come over here and manually select the points, and you can actually, you know, move it over. I find this a lot easier than trying to select each mouth landmark like manually in the groups. Okay, bear with me. I just have a couple more areas. But I will fix this so that it worked with both manual selection and this type of selecting. Sorry, that's way off. Okay, fix this last one. Okay, I think that's good enough. Now I just need a bit of real estate because this is getting really stuffed up. Let me just move it up. Okay, let's add a rest position. I can't remember if I needed the rest there, but I'm going to add it anyways. There's the landmarks. Now what this second output will do is that it allows you to preview. This is the projected. So let's template this guy. So that's the projected point on Oliver's mouth. Now you can see that. And it allows you two different debugging options. You can look at the projected points, or you can look at visualize. You can like I said, this is still in the works. I forgot to hook it up. Here, let me see if I can hook it up right now. Where's the switch? The switch is here. Oh, I forgot to hook it up. Edit landmark points. Parameters, projected channels, go in. Okay, there you go. So you can look at the ray casted points, which is this, or you can look at the point groups. So this gives you a better visual as to what are the mapped areas now. Now, once I feed this into the lip sync tool, which hasn't changed much, the only change I made was to the mouth controls. Okay. This is almost the same. We can take a look. Now, see. Now that's affecting a lot there. So we need to adjust the deforming radius and deform scale. Let me just have more of these. Now I have a lot of debugging tools just because I like visualizing what I'm trying to configure. Let me lower the radius. So I have a more detailed live stream on how the lip sync tools work. That's like a previous live stream. That is, you can find out more on how to set that up. It's more detailed in this one, I believe. Generator. No, this is the head generator. Lip sync. This one. So I'm not going to go over in too much detail today. The deform scale is how much you want the mouth to actually follow the phenom value, the lip shape. Sorry. I need to drag this down. Okay, there we go. That looks better. Now that we've adjusted the deform radius. Now, this is the chops. So this is actually the chops voice audio file feeding directly into this. Now I need to just adjust deforming radius is 0.1. What did I have for this value? It will be identical. 0.1, 0.7. Okay. 0.1, 0.7. Let's go 7. Sure. Close, mouth close and open. Okay, let's give this a try. Ooh, too much. Okay, I think I'm gonna stick with 0.15. Okay, that's a bit better. So now we have talking Oliver. The purpose of showing you that was how to get this lip talking animation out, export out of Houdini and bring it into Blender and combine it with our zombie / walking Oliver, like everything. Now we can also combine this with the KineFX setup in Houdini as well, but I'm going to show you the Blender way first since we're here. Drop down at FBX ROP. FBX ROP. Just a normal one. I find that this one works best. Not the animation, not the character, just a ROP FBX output. Drop that down. I'm just going to plug it straight out of the deforming mesh. So this is the lip sync value, right? Straight in there. Disable the ASCII format because we don't need that. Enable force blend shape export. So that one's important. Now we want all the frames. Now we don't want that much. Just because I want to make this a bit faster. 20 frames. Okay, let's do 100 frames. I think that should be more than enough. Talking Oliver. So this is just the talking part. So just give it a second. What is cool is that once you import into Blender, it will be turned into ShapeKeys. And for those of you that have used Blender, this becomes a lot faster to handle. It's a lot more clean. $100 frames might have been a little too much. I should have just did 50 frames. Okay, we're just gonna give it a bit more. Dead pianist. Chops are cool. Chops are very, very cool. I've been learning how to smooth out mocap data in Houdini using chops and using some of the soft tools as well. So but it's still in the works. That's why the mocap one will come. The mocap tutorial will come a little later. I really wish that we could do like get a whole character creation pipeline going, because the only thing I believe I have left is the hair generator, because I have clothes generator. There's like, I even have a character generator, like it generates the head and the body. Oh, there it goes. Talking Oliver. Let's get the Blender file here. Let's import it. Talking Oliver 100. I believe we don't need this to be 100. Let's try 1 first. And there's no armature. This is not going to be an armature, so don't worry about that. Okay, I'm going to isolate the Talking Oliver. Oh, it is a little small. You know what? I'm just going to resize it manually. S100. Okay. Let's see. Now to isolate objects is the / key in Blender. So just click this and just / it. Now if you look at here, this is our Talking Oliver. Let's go back to the timeline. You can see that he's moving, and the best thing is that we have all 41 phenums as ShapeKey. So if you ever wanted to fix how these are the different phenom values. He's starting to say wah in where, in get, or in get, and young, ya in young. Like these are the different phonem values. You can manipulate them manually. So these are the ShapeKeys manipulating these phoneme values. Now, the object is to transfer this stuff to this guy. Normally, in Blender, to transfer an animation, you would just click this guy and then click this, and you just do, in ShapeKeys, under this triangle looking thing, this tab, you'll see ShapeKeys. Click this. And there should be transfer ShapeKey. Now this is not going to work. As you can see, I'm changing the phoneme value, this value here, and it didn't get it. Oh, well, for one thing is that you have to select this one first. You have to select the phoneme in our imported Talking Oliver. Select him. Select this. Select him. Select this. That would target that we want to copy over. Let me do that again. Transfer ShapeKey. Okay, so there it goes. It doesn't work, right? He's not talking. Like, this one's not moving. One thing you need to be aware of. Oh, I did do this. Okay. I never got this working very well using the original transfer. I actually use a Blender add-on to help me. So I downloaded this. I bought this Blender add-on. Oh, I should have. Okay, I had this bookmarked here. Just forgot to. ShapeKey Pro. So what this is, I use this add-on to help me transfer ShapeKeys from one model into another. So just because I didn't know how to do it myself, and this can do batches, so I don't have to do transfer one at a time. This will do all of them for me. So let's see how this goes. But one of the bad things is that this add-on requires you to put the two meshes exactly in the same position. So I'm guessing it uses some sort of distance value to calculate it. Even though these two meshes are exactly the same. We could give it a try. I mean, I don't know. Let's go like this. Select the one with shape keys and the one that doesn't have any. And let's try the tool. So it says there's nothing. Object has no shape keys. Okay, here it is. Shape keys from selected. Let's give it a try. There are a lot, so it just gives it a while. Okay, let's see if it did anything. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. You can see that I'm changing the value for this shape key over here. Oh, it moved it over. Well, that makes sense. It needs to be in the exact same place. It uses some sort of really wacky distance value. Delete all shape keys. Okay. Let's come over here to our rig. Our original rig. Let's remove this animation. Just for a second. Dope sheet. So this guy has no animation. Let me go into pose mode. And all I did was reset the rest position. So he's standing in the middle. Now I need to select this guy. Selection to cursor. Selection to cursor. No, that didn't work. Okay, let's just manually move him. Let me change the pivot to the cursor. Okay, so I can make them bigger a little easier. You can use these instead of, I know I'm using shortcuts just because I wanted to go faster. But you can use these widgets. Okay, that's, okay, a little bit to the side. Okay, I think that's close enough. Okay, let's try that tool again, that add-on again. So select this guy. Okay, select him. That's the one with shape keys and the one without. Now let's use that tool, shape key from selection. There we go. And then let's make that invisible. Let's look at this. Oh, what happened? It still moved them over there. Oh, I think I know what happened. Sorry. It moved the entire character over there. So we have to do this one more time. Delete shape keys. Okay. It is because he's using the edit position. Okay, let's undo this. I'm gonna undo all the way to the part where we moved them over. Okay, I think that's close enough. So let's do this one more time. So we have to go to the edit. He used the edit mode. I didn't notice that. Now let's grab him over. Put in wireframe so I can actually see something. Let's enlarge this again. That's pretty close. Okay, that's pretty close. Okay. Yeah. And when you get out of the edit, it jumps back. I know. Because of these shape keys. The shape keys are bound here. I bet you this guy is not in the 0, 0 position. Yeah. Okay. That's why. So the blend shape is shifting it over to the right. Okay, so it's never gonna... That's the thing about Blender. You have to like get it in, like there's these little quirks that I can't get over with. These blend shapes are based on point position data. And its point position is all the way stretching all the way to the right. So we do have to reset this guy. So once, like, I should have reset him to the middle before applying my lip sync shape values, because everything's based on position. Oops. Let's move this up, move this up. This is not being used. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. You can see that I'm not using the FBX. One is, yes, it's pointing to the wrong file. I'm not using this node, this FBX character import, in order to get the lip synced with my lip sync HDA data. I'm actually using a different mesh data, a different Oliver. It's actually the one with the mesh weights. So this is super important when you're applying using my Lip Sync HDA with the intention of exporting it out and putting it into Blender, is that you need this, you need to match it up with this character. This character is the armature, which is our walking zombie, running zombie Oliver. Let me give him that zombie walk. So it's this guy. Action, walking. So it's this walking zombie dude over here. This guy needs to be this mesh here. If you ever want to append shape keys to this mesh, it has to be the same mesh. So this is what got me in circles, going in circles forever. So let's go back to here and let's see what that data is. It's actually the KineFX rig. The KineFX rig with the bone capture data. It's just this part. So if we select, oh, that's gonna, sorry, I have it cached up. This bone capture data over here. Let's take a look. So that's this, all this stuff over here with the bone capture weights. This is the character with the weights. You need to apply the lip sync on top of this guy. Otherwise it won't work. And you need to reposition it to the 0 point, or to at least back to wherever this guy is standing. Into the 0, 0. So let's go to the lip. So that's why you can't use the FBX character import. I mean, you can if you only want it lip sync. If you don't want him to walk and talk. If you only want to talk, then yes, you can use the FBX character import. Otherwise, you need the one with the bone capture weights. So this guy is not exactly in the middle. Oh, if you go into specified object, it will be in the middle. So that's something I did wrong. Because this is an object merge node into specified object. I kept on choosing into this object. Okay, let me go back to the chops. Let's export it one more time. Overwrite the talking Oliver. Oh, this is going to take a while. Okay. Well, while this is on, let's move on to a different topic. Let's see. Let's looking at time-wise. Whoa, 4 o'clock. So I might save the facial expressions for next time, just because that HDA isn't complete yet. So things may change. What I will show you is what it does. I'll show you the results. Give me a second. Expressions. animation. So some of you might have seen what I had on my Twitter feed, which is animating this character, this Eric character that is available on Side Effects for free. What I did to it as part of my motion capture testing is that I animated him with this motion capture. So I have 2 KineFXs set up using the IPSOP that allows me to get really accurate body motion, capture body motion. Unfortunately, it does not do fingers, as I recently have learned. I've never noticed that it wasn't capturing the finger. So this finger animation is manually keyed in. And if you look carefully onto Eric, he's actually smiling. So this is the default look on Eric. He's not smiling. And this smile here is done with the new facial expression HDA, the new HDA set I have going on. It's not complete yet, but it's getting there. So that's me experimenting, combining the facial expression with the motion capture. And hopefully I'll have like the lip sync and like everything, throw everything into it, and you have a full body. You have everything in there. Okay, that completed. So now we can import this again. Import FBX Talking Oliver. Let's do, I believe it's 10. Or let's, you know what, let's not do that. Okay, I should have did that actually. 100. Okay. So we still need to make him a little bigger. Now let's get rid of the walking. So I want him to be in the middle. Okay. Where is Oliver? Is here. Uh-oh. I don't see him. Oh, talking Oliver. I misspelled it. So he's behind them. Okay. Okay, let's try and just import it over. Like without doing anything special. This is what the one with shape keys. Select the one without. Then click shape keys from selection. Because the add-on does advertise that if the mesh is completely the same, it should be able to transfer without problems. So it might have been something like I had something wrong on my part. Oh, let's try that. Okay, now that we have it all transferred, you can see that it has appended this Talking Oliver name in front of every single phone value. Let's see if this works. Nope. Still not working. So it does need it to be in the same place for some strange reason. Okay, edit mode. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, let's give that another try. So this is the other one. Okay, Talking Oliver. Select the other one, Oliver. Click it one more time. Okay, I don't know why it changed. I swear to you, I had this working before. For some reason, it changed this position again. Because it's not in the right position, it's not going to work. Okay. Yeah, this is not working. Delete all key shapes. This is the walking Oliver. This is the talking Oliver. There's too many of them. Now, I did get this working before. Maybe it's because of this zombie walk. Okay, so there's nothing attached to this. If I edit this, it is incredibly small. So this is actually the size of it. Ugh. So I think that was the default size. Oh, you know what I can do? Come in here, select the armature, go to pose, select all the bones, reset the scale. Okay, there we go. Let's go back to this. Now we have to, now this is in the wrong. So it was in the right position before. You know what? Let me import this one more time because I have changed the scale just to match this guy, but it actually was matching to begin with. It was the rig that was making it bigger. Okay, so now this is the same size. Yeah, they're same size. This guy, all I had to do is select the other one. Now I'm gonna have a hard time selecting it. Select, and then select this. Oh wait, select this, and then okay, select this, and then select this. Then come down here, press this. ShapeKey. So it's still not working. Okay, I will figure that out. I'm not sure why it doesn't work. Should just work. Because that's how I was doing it before. But let me figure that out. Maybe I had, like, you can see that this whole process is a lot of options. You have to enable and you have to get this right and you have to do that in order. So the whole workflow is not seamless. It's not a one button solution, and things could go wrong anywhere. So it will take time to get used to this workflow, and for me to slowly organize and maybe optimize the workflow to improve it a little bit better. So give it time. Give me time. I will keep working at this and making it Houdini and Blender play well together, because Blender does have a lot of really nice features. One of the features that I really like is the Blender's rendering engine. The rendering engine, now Blender is free. That's awesome as like already, but the Blender's Eevee rendering, it's fast. It's so fast, and it's really easy to use. Maybe because I'm used to it though. Coming from me, it, you know, might not be as convincing. Maybe because I'm used to it. Let me append some of Oliver's. Actually, let me just open another file. Let me just open the file where I have Oliver all set up with a material to illustrate how fast this is. So this should be rendering with Eevee. Now this is real time. This is real time. I can actually turn in real time. This is rendering in real time. Now let's turn this off and use Blender's cycles. It's still really fast. And this is more accurate and it's more pretty. But you can see that every single time you scroll, it does take a while to load, but it's still really, really fast. So this is why I keep insisting on the Houdini to Blender workflow, because both these applications have so much to offer. Just needs a bit of love. Import it with correct scale and make it. Yeah, I guess so. I think so. There's so many quirks here and there to figure out. So still working on the whole workflow. Random gaming. Thanks for the Houdini tutorials, making it easy for us. Oh, awesome. Glad everyone finds it useful. So that's all I have time for today. Let's see what we covered. We got pretty far. Too bad we didn't have enough time for the lip sync and facial expressions. I was really excited about that. But that's okay. This is not ready for release yet, so give me a bit more time. As for the clothing update, this is already out. I just owed everyone a live demonstration of the new updates. I am planning on updating the clothing even further to give you like button shirts, collars, gloves, but I'm getting ahead of myself. One thing's first. I finish this and then finish the mocap and then come back round, like a round circle back to here. Just because with these two, once I have the motion capture in, along with the lip sync, well, the lip sync's pretty much done. I just have to make the lip sync compatible with the expressions. That would be like really nice to have someone talking with emotion, not someone like a character talking with emotion. That would be like amazing. And then what if we had him moving as well? So that would be good enough for a short film or a clip or something, or like a 10-second teaser or something, or a skit. So these three are on the top of the priority list, and they're getting close, really getting close. Dead Pianist, can you please answer my VOP question? The XYZ, the XYZ distance one, right? I haven't used that node in a while. I'll have to answer it in the next one. I have to play around with it and get more familiar, like remind myself what it was doing before I can answer that. Are you talking about are you referring to the XYZ distance value node? This one? Yeah. I don't remember. Short answer is I can get back to you on that, but that'll be like the next live stream. I'm not gonna debug online. And the new Cycles X, which is the new version of Cycles, is even more sweeter and faster. The new Cycles X. I've heard about that. A lot of people have been talking about it. Is it in here? I'm not sure if I have it in here. Is it in what version? Because there's so many versions. Splash screen. This is 2.93 of the LTS of Blender. Honestly, I thought that was in already because this was so fast. I could definitely feel a significant improvement in the Eevee rendering system. And I really love the new stuff that they have. The ambient occlusion and the bloom has improved Eevee a lot. It's a different branch of 3.0. Ooh, okay. I'll be patient for that. It's the different branch. It's in the alpha. The beta. The alpha. It's not even beta yet. It's alpha. Sounds buggy. I'll wait for the release. I think you aren't using GPU for cycles. Oh, I'm not? I am. They're going to add light linking. What's that? Light linking. So you're gonna link lights between Blender files? Is that what it is? It's grayed out. Oh. Did I accidentally disable it? System. No? It's connected. I don't know. It's not grayed out anymore. I think that's just a bug. Yeah, I did see it grayed out. I don't know why. Let me see if it improved. Nope. Still the same speed. And I still hear the fans running, so. I think that was just a Blender artifact. It's a Blender moment. It's grayed out. You need to select it from the preference. Use OptiX. There it is. Yeah. But I didn't select anything. All I did was like here and then... Oh, you had to click that? Like what is... I didn't do much though. All I did was that. Just flip the tabs and it just... Here, let's do it again. I don't know. I can't tell the difference either, so maybe I did turn it on. I am not sure. So it turns, what's the point in... Oops. Use OptiX. There it is. They've added most of the things in Cycles X. They're waiting to add features and stable version. Stable release. You have to select the OptiX tab. Oh, so actually clicking this is selecting something? I thought these were tabs. I didn't notice that they were actually doing something when you click it. Well, thank you. Now I know. It's nice to know. Otherwise, when things go wrong, you don't know how to debug it. Well, this sure opened a lot of confusing parameters, though. Probably just use the default. You should select CPU as well because it can use RAM if it runs out of GPU memory. I know what you mean. I have done that before, but it slows down the render significantly just because the GPU is so much faster and there's so many cores on my CPU. It takes up all the squares. I'll show you. Here, this is a render of... Where'd it go? Oh, no camera. Let me make it bigger. Or, sorry. Let me pull it out. This is what I usually do. Make a small camera on the corner. Ah! Local. Okay. Let's make it a little closer. He can use a close-up. Nice, pretty teddy bear. So this is the GPU, so it's a lot faster. Watch when I used CPU along with it. All the CPU cycles takes up the whole area. Okay, that doesn't really show, but it is significantly longer if we added here, let's go to cycles and add subsurface scattering. that would significantly make it slower. I don't know. Give them. Let's see. Oh yeah, you have to select tabs. The default in Blender. Now you can try new OptiX denoise. It's really fast. Oh yes, that is true. Always wondered how to turn it on, but I never bothered. Let me show you. Look, it's taking so long for some of them, and then when the GPU, because the GPU goes so fast around, like it doesn't show. It's not very apparent for this render, but when you have like a whole environment scene and it's trying to render, all the CPU locks up all the little rendering squares, and then the GPU goes so fast, and then it ends up nothing to do because it has to wait for the CPU to finish. So that's why I disable this usually. It's good for nothing because the GPU is just too much faster. I can't imagine how fast the 3090 would be. I mean, that's probably like blazing fast. It's really fast. Yeah, I really should play around with this. Yay! Render this. Is it viewport? Wow, that is fast. He's warping. Woo! Woo! N view lock camera to view like Houdini. You didn't know. I don't use this that often. How do you do it? N view lock camera. You sure? Is there another button you need to press? Like Shift N or something? Lock camera to view like Houdini. N? I don't know. I only use mainly the material node a lot. I'm not a Blender guru. For GPU, you can see the bigger tile sizes. For the new Cycles X has progressive, so no tile sized. Sizes 3090 and Cycles X is lighting fast, and you should check. I really want to, but the 3090 is expensive, and even if you have the money, it's hard to find one. But all the local electronics stores are all sold out. Literally, there's a 2-month wait time, and I hate pre-ordering stuff, and it's so expensive anyway. So I'm not there yet. Not to a point where I'm willing to go out and get a 3090. And then go to view and then lock him. Oh, sorry. and then camera, sorry. Camera. Lock camera. What's the point in that, though? Because it doesn't... What's the point of locking the camera? I can still move it, though. Use a local camera in this view rather than seems active camera. I only have one camera. Oh, okay, I see. I guess it doesn't make sense because I only have one camera, but if I had multiple ones, I guess I can see how this comes in handy. I'm so sorry. I'm not a Blender guru. You definitely Houdini. Yeah. I have RTX 6000. That's good. How's that working out? Like, how is it? Does it it's too bad with all the new GPUs, like with all the RTXs out, Houdini is not taking advantage of anything, of any of them. Blender is. And it's free. I just wish Houdini would. Because then if rendering was actually using the GPU in Houdini, I wouldn't have to actually, I probably wouldn't even consider Blender. because it's a lot of work getting the two applications to play nice. It's really a lot of work. Like, there's all these little quirks. I mean, I haven't even gotten the particles to work from Houdini to Blender, because you lose all the attributes, which is the gold gem in Houdini. I'm gonna close this. Lock camera to view. That view, lock, tab. No, lock camera to view. You're gonna have to be patient with me with this one. I'm sorry. I don't know what this is. Lock camera. Active camera use this view when unlocked from the seconds. Oh. I don't know. Mantra is slower than my grandma. It's getting there. Karma is supposed to be a little better. I did play around with Karma before, but oh my god, that thing is buggy. In the first real-time ray tracing, so I started to learn Nighted in UE. Nanite, sorry. Yes, the new UE5. It looks really promising. The only I really like UE. It's a really fast application. My only complaint is that all the asset files are so large. Can you imagine someone, even if they give out free assets every month, I really wish they would compress it a little bit, because it's literally gigs. I mean, I feel sorry for those with the bandwidth limit. I mean, that's gonna really suck. You are checking out the local camera. The lock camera is just below it. Eh? Oh. I'm sorry. Ah. Camera to view. Oh, lock to objects. I'm gonna have to look this up on YouTube. I'll figure out what this does. You should give up on me on this. I'm so sorry. OE5 demo was 100 gigs. I know! That took me 3 days to download. I know. That's so crazy. Imagine their servers. It must be going like nuts. Yes, you can go to camera view and you can move the camera like the viewport. Oh, I see. I'll figure this out. You can give up on me on that. Don't even look at the MetaHuman size ad. I didn't. That's the only thing that stopped me from it, because it's so large. That is the only thing. Otherwise, the MetaHuman looks so good. It looks so good. But it's so huge. I'll stick with the Reallusion. The Reallusion is not a bad alternative. The only thing is Reallusion likes to really get your money. They really like money. The Reallusion. Otherwise, this is a very nice product. The only problem is you have to pay for everything, every single little add-on. Like all these add-ons, you have to pay separately for. So it does add up to be quite expensive. Even I had to buy a few add-ons to make it actually do what, to achieve what I wanted. Like I got the skin gen, what else? What else did I get off of this? See, you had to click this, click that. The plugins are listed below. I think I got this. Let's see, headshot. No, I didn't get the headshot just because that was not really useful for me. I got the skin. The skin gen is really, really nice. Oh, they don't list everything. And I got this one. This human, this one. Oh, let's just click it. Ultimate Morse, just to give you more different characters, types, skin. Oh, I got this one, and then beard, hair. That was a bundle. So yeah, this one is really nice. Morse, but this was always buy it in a bundle. It's more affordable in a bundle package. The beard, I actually got this when it first came out because there was a huge sale. It was like 50% off. I haven't actually had time to play around with it, which is really sad. As you can see, I've been lagging behind the videos too, so this is not a priority. This is not a, like, it'll always be there for me. When I finish all the topics, I'll come back to it. They got money in servers. That's true. They have a load of money. I had no storage left in mine. Yes! Yes! I know. Trust me. I know. I already have, like, I have to reserve hard drive space for the videos. So, yeah, I totally relate with that. It's the same as the camera lock in Houdini. Oh, give up on me. I'll look it up. I promise. I'll look it up after this live. Give up on me. I'm not very good after an hour and a half. I go brain dead. I'm not gonna give up. We're gonna be here for a while. I think the link deleted. The link? Oh, you mean the Reallusion? Wait, I think you're talking about Blender. That reminds me, Reallusion had this link to the Head and Beard Gumroad page. I think that was not related to Reallusion. That's probably why it was like on Gumroad. Let me try and find that. Oh, I know how to find it. Reallusion. Oh. Blender. Hair. Something like that. Limited free hair tool. Collaboration. What is this? 25% off. I don't know what this is. Wonder if it was... Oh, this one. This is it. This hair tool. This guy. So I don't think this has anything to do with Reallusion, but their add-on works with the characters exported out of Reallusion and imported into Blender. So this works. I don't know, but because I don't have it. I didn't buy this. So apparently, the trailer video looked really nice, though. So someone had talked about hair earlier. Oh, I'm not gonna find it. Someone in the comments had talked about hair earlier and suggested I make a hair generator that would work between exporting it out of Houdini and into Blender. This is one of the reasons why I'm not ready for that. Because I did try before, but it's really hard. Because Blender has its own particle system, that's why. Tutorial. I'm trying to get the teaser video out. I don't know where they put it. The teaser video caught my attention. Watch video. Maybe it was this. Oh, I need previews. Let me see. Should be somewhere here. Oh, here. Yeah, this looks really nice. So that's all they have. That it like click of a button and it just attaches it to the sculpt. Let me send you the link on Twitter. The link on Twitter. Looks good. Thanks. It was me. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was a dead pianist. Yeah, this is the tool I was talking about. I'll give it a try, but it's not a priority on my to-do list, just to let you know. I will work on it just to have, then we'll have a complete character development pipeline between Houdini and Blender. Hair in Blender is very easy, but many people have made add-ons. I know one dude in their game studio have created a pipeline for Blender to Houdini hair Olympic workflow. Olympic is huge though. Olympic, I have done Olympic too, from Houdini to Blender. It works nicely, but it's huge. It's not efficient. Mainly because my hard drives are still the old, the spinning drives. I'm still using the spinning drives. Because hard drives are expensive when you need, when you're creating a lot of content. Like all the videos, every live takes up gigs. So I run out of hard drives like crazy. Getting an SSD, like the NVMe SSDs, they're nice. They're really fast, but they're expensive. And they're small, as in small space. You can find their video on YT. The studio is in Bark. Awesome. Cool. I'll check them out after the live though, just because I'm really tired. We're gonna have to end off the stream, but I really appreciate everyone coming in here. Where did you learn Houdini? And the live. I've asked this question every single time. I've learned it online mostly. I have taken Houdini from the CGMA. I took 2 CGMA courses in my whole journey through Houdini, but it was on and off. So it wasn't together. And I don't think the courses are being offered. At the beginning, I had taken this advanced Vex course just because I thought it was a programming course. I was like, okay, I got this in the bag. It was like totally different because I didn't even understand Houdini's UI. And we all know Houdini's UI is not intuitive. Like this is not intuitive. Like SOPs, yes, that's nice. But at the time when I started Houdini, there was no, RBD bullet solver in SOPs. This never existed. Now they're just spoiling kids now with this. I never had this to play with. I always had DOPs. And I was like, why isn't this rendering? Then I understood after I learned that there was a DOP import. And then I was like, oh, this makes more sense now. Because whoever made this workflow, this DOPs and DOP import workflow, was obviously a programmer. This is what we do in program. We have functions. This is like a representation of like a function or a class, and you have to extract or marshal the data and then unmarshal it back out and extract it out in order to use it for something else. So this is what we do in software a lot. This concept is solid. It's just not very intuitive for someone newbie if you slap the Houdini on someone, which is what I did to myself. I had signed up for that Vex course. At the time, it was taught by this guy. I don't remember his name, but he was very, very, very good. He doesn't teach in CGMA anymore. He taught texture bombing. He taught programming shaders, like using the code, not this stuff. Actually program the shaders, which is not available anymore. Houdini doesn't the one that he used, he can't remember it, he used the shaders, the shop, and he created a new operator type to program the actual shader for the Vex, which is not available anymore. Now, but the concept is still there. You can program other stuff. You can program the GLSL, like what I've demonstrated in a few live streams back. You can actually program a material, GLSL material for the viewport, which is something I've been working on. It's in the works. It's all in, everything's in the works. It's all spinning in there somewhere. So me on and off. That's where it kickstarted my Houdini journey. But the CGMA courses are really expensive. It's not something I would suggest someone going into as a beginner. If you're a beginner into Houdini, I suggest just going through there are tons of YouTube videos. At the time when I started learning Houdini, there were like really, like none almost. I would say none almost. It wasn't as popular at that time. The only one that I could find when I started learning Houdini was, I'll show you, this guy named Mix Training. He was the only one I could find online that was offering a lot of tutorial content. He doesn't post much anymore, not as frequent as he used to. And he's the only one that uses the shelf tool too. So no one teaches you how to use the shelf tool. And I always wanted to learn everything in Houdini, like a whole round closure. They made it very easy with solvers to play. Yes, they did, definitely. At least you can render something, right? Like as a beginner, you want some sort of reward as you're learning. You want to render it right away, but you know, if you throw a .NET in them, they'll be so confused for a beginner. Is Vex similar to C or C++? Yes, it is very, very, very similar. The syntax is almost identical, which is nice. I would say C and C++ is harder because Vex, you have this nice wrapper. Everything's wrapped inside the attribute, the wrangle. So like this makes it easier. You don't have to set up header files. You don't have to set up, like it's optional to set up all that stuff. In C and C++, header files gives me a headache. If you set it up manually. I mean, nowadays you have the IDE, like Visual Studio or whatever, that'll set it up for you. If you have to, I had this professor, he made us set it up manually, line by line. I was so confused. You miss one line, the whole thing doesn't work, and you don't even know where you are. I'd like to show off my big network mess to a newbie. No, you'll scare them off. Thanks for making the videos. I appreciate it. Oh, thanks for watching. I appreciate everyone watching. Speaking of Blender, have you tried Blender Geonodes? It's very similar to SOPs and uses attributes like Houdini and Tegma as making videos. I have been meaning to, but like I said, I've so swamped with stuff. It's so hard to find time. I've been meaning to, just because it's inside Blender. Whatever, I'm assuming the geometry nodes will have attributes. You can link them to the material. I'm assuming. That's all assumptions. I haven't actually touched it. I haven't even opened the panel ever. But based on that assumption, if the geometry nodes in Blender have attributes that can be linked directly to the material sheets, material shaders, that's very powerful. Thanks. It's time to end now. It sounds like, yeah, I am really tired. I gotta end it off. You def sound tired. You should end the stream. Yeah, I'm gonna end it off. Thank you all for joining me today. I really appreciate everyone coming and making it to the end of the stream. I know my streams are super long. Try to be patient with some of the stuff I have coming up, because I have a load of stuff that's coming up soon. Like the expressions. I just saw this in the corner of my screen. I want to show you this. I know I'm tired. My voice probably sounds like a squeaky rubber toy right now. But I really want to show you this. So this is what the facial deformer that I've been working on. It's not released yet. It's not ready for release. I'm hoping in the next week, maybe. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. Let me see. 2 views on the top. This here. Let me go like this. Here. Okay, so you have these lines. Okay. So the eyebrows didn't make sense. Oh, I should show you what the projected lines look like. So this is what it looks. Let me get rid of the camera. Yeah, there we go. So these projected lines look like this. So you can, these are projected onto this character, onto the Eric character. Now the eyebrows don't make sense because his helmet gets in the way. So I didn't really do anything with that, but we can right now. Let me move some of the stuff. Choose this, choose this, choose this. Oh, let me wiggle his nose. That should be really obvious. It's so slow though. You can, oh, okay, that's a lot faster. The nose is a lot faster. So this is a facial expression thing. The idea is to, it was really slow the other day, but I did fix a bug last night. So I guess that fixed a lot of the optimization issues I had. But anyways, this, imagine this. If you had a lot of different expressions you have set in, preset it. Like right now, I have this expression here. Let me get rid of this. Okay, give it time to load. So he's smiling. And let's take a look. This is what it looks like here. So this is me deforming all the landmarks. Originally, it's like this. This. So you can see that now this widget is getting in the way. So originally, this is the default positions of the landmarks. I've changed it significantly to get him to smile. Just because this guy, this Eric, is not he's frowning by default. He's literally, this is the default mesh. So he's frowning by default. So I had to do extra effort to get him to smile. Probably, thanks for the bye. It sounds like you're falling asleep. I'm so sorry. Well, thank you all for joining me. I'm going to end the stream right now. Look forward to some of the updates I have coming up.